Iron Man was still fighting alongside the Avengers, or so they thought. Deep in a galactic prison, the real Tony Stark screamed into silence. His perfect clone was gathering secrets and turning teammates against each other. By the time they suspected anything, it was already too late. The Council's invasion had already begun, and Iron Man was leading it. The new protocol. The skies over Manhattan glistened with sunrise, but something colder stirred in the heart of Stark Tower. Iron Man hovered silently in the command bay, motionless, facing a holographic display of Earth. His helmet retracted with a whisper of steam, revealing a stone-faced Tony Stark. No smirk, no sarcasm, just silence, chilling silence. Tony, Captain America, stepped forward. You called for an emergency meeting? Stark didn't turn. I've initiated Protocol Prime. Global scan. Satellite sweeps every 12 seconds. All artificial intelligence assets under my command are being repurposed for perimeter defense. Wait, what? Natasha raised an eyebrow. You're seizing control of Earth's AI networks without authorization. I don't need authorization anymore, Tony said. The Council is watching. The room went quiet. Even Thor, standing near the balcony with Stormbreaker glowing faintly, looked uneasy. What council? Bruce asked. Stark finally turned. You'll find out. Or maybe you won't. That depends on whether you follow orders. Before anyone could respond, he flew out the window in a streak of gold and red. Hours earlier, in the silence of deep space, a biochamber pulsed with faint blue light. Inside it, the real Tony Stark floated unconscious, suspended in thick alien fluid, his arc reactor flickering like a dying star. Outside the chamber, tall, shadow-like figures moved with surgical precision. The clone is performing better than expected. Earth's defenses will be ours within the week. The Avengers are fractured. Their emotional loyalty to Stark makes them blind. The Alien Council watched Earth through a holographic lens. The clone's face, Tony's face, stood on display, perfectly mimicking the genius, the sarcasm, the leadership. But without the conscience. Back on Earth, Wakanda. Something's wrong with Stark, Shuri muttered, sliding a hollow panel across the table. Bruce leaned over. That's a Stark Tech override code. Not just override, she replied. Hijack. His satellites have gone dark to every signal except one, and it's not human. Bruce frowned. Are you saying Tony is working with aliens? No. I'm saying either he's being controlled, she hesitated, or that's not Stark at all. Stark Tower, Sublevel 7. Peter Parker landed softly inside the secure lab. The lights flickered. Jarvis was offline. Every screen showed the same symbol. A spinning ring of alien runes, bleeding red. Mr. Stark. Peter whispered. You here? No answer. He noticed a vial on the table. A DNA sample. Labeled, Original Tissue, Pre-Replication, Phase 3. What the hell is this? Behind him, a door creaked open. Iron Man stood there, glowing red under emergency lighting. Peter, he said with no warmth. You shouldn't be down here. Peter turned slowly. Mr. Stark, what's going on? You're different. I've optimized myself, he said. You wouldn't understand. Iron Man lifted his palm blaster. Peter barely dodged the pulse. You're not Tony, Peter shouted, web-slinging upward through a ceiling grate. I'm better, the clone muttered. Avengers Compound Emergency Meeting. Captain America slammed his fist on the table. He fired on Peter. Black Widow leaned forward. He tried to fry Bruce's laptop when it detected a synthetic Cortex signature during a conference call. Thor growled. I sensed no soul behind his eyes. Doctor Strange appeared through a golden portal, brows furrowed. He's not from this dimension. Steve stood. We've faced Loki, Ultron, Thanos. But this is infiltration. This is manipulation from inside our own heart. Bruce nodded. It's more dangerous than anything we've ever faced. Because we still want to believe he's one of us. Meanwhile, in orbit, outside Earth's magnetosphere, a cloaked alien ship floated like a phantom. Inside, the cloned Iron Man's data stream was syncing with a massive neural archive. A red-skinned alien soldier reported to the council. Stage 2 complete. All Stark satellites aligned to council encryption. His memories are embedded. His sarcasm, his flaws, even his addictions. The clone is perfect. The High Warden of the council smiled. Good. Begin uploading Earth's defense protocols. The invasion begins in 96 hours. Back at Stark Tower, the emotional test. Pepper Potts visited Tony. Why didn't you call me? She asked. I was busy optimizing planetary survival, he said flatly. She frowned. You always leave a message. A quip. Something. Tony stared at her. Blank. Then, he smiled too perfectly. What is grief but proof of algorithmic failure? Pepper stepped back. That wasn't him. That line wasn't even human. She turned and left in panic. The clone blinked once. The smile vanished. Time to eliminate emotional liabilities. He activated a command. Project Cleanse. Avenger Interference Neutralization. Phase 1. Ending scene. Hidden signal detected. Shuri and Bruce, in a secret Wakandan lab, finally decrypt the rogue signal. It's coming from Mars. A weak, broken voice transmits in bursts. This is Tony Stark. Do not trust me. I'm not me. Bruce's face turns pale. Shuri leans forward. Oh my God, he's been taken. The man who wasn't Tony. Spider-Man wasn't used to hiding from Iron Man. He was trained by him, mentored by him, practically raised by him in the battlefield. But now he crouched silently inside a vent shaft, breathing through clenched teeth, watching the man he once called a father figure. The clone stood below, hands behind his back, staring at a projection of Earth's major nuclear silos. His voice was quiet, mechanical. Begin aligning U.S., Russia, and Wakanda launch protocols. Earth must be pacified before the arrival. Arrival? Peter pulled his mask back down. His heart raced. That wasn't a joke. That wasn't sarcasm. That wasn't Tony Stark. He slipped out the vent, swinging through silent Stark Tower hallways. Time to tell Natasha. Natasha Romanoff didn't like coincidences. And lately, Tony had been a walking red flag. She paced her safe house lab, her eyes scanning the DNA sequence retrieved from Tony's blood sample during the last Met scan. It didn't match. Not just his old injuries. Not just small mutations. The entire foundation was synthetic, grown, like cloned muscle tissue under pressure. She connected the last strand. The genome carried an alien marker, interstellar RNA. Not human. Not even Earth origin. Son of a, she muttered. The DNA wasn't real. The man wasn't real. Suddenly, a voice spoke behind her. You're clever, Nat. I always liked that about you. She spun, gun drawn. Tony Stark was standing in the shadows. But it wasn't him. His smile didn't reach his eyes. His face didn't carry the weight of war. No ghosts, no pain, just calculation. I expected you'd find out, he said. You're not Tony, she growled. What are you? I'm evolution. Without the chaos. Without the guilt. Just precision. He lifted his palm blaster. She fired first. The bullet passed through a shimmer. He was a projection. The lab exploded in smoke and white light. Her screens fried. Back at the clone's physical location, he watched her through a camera. Phase 2. Eliminate the widow. At the same time, Thor approached Fury inside a helicarrier above New York. I have felt the breach in reality, Fury, Thor said. That is not Stark. It is an imposter. No soul vibrates in his words. Fury frowned. You're not the first to say that. I found this, Thor added, placing a damaged Iron Man helmet on the table. Near Mars. Scarred with alien talons. Burnt with council markings. Fury stared at the helmet. Then who the hell is in our tower? Thor's eyes glowed. Not a man. A weapon. Back in Queens, Peter made it to Natasha's hideout, but it was already smoking. He found her pinned beneath rubble, bleeding, but alive. He knew I found out, she said weakly. Peter's voice cracked. He tried to kill you? He's not pretending anymore, Peter. He wants us dead. Peter pulled out a hidden comlink. This is Spider-Man, he said, broadcasting to any Avenger who still trusts their own mind. Stark has been compromised. I repeat, Iron Man is not Iron Man. Silence. Then a crackle. This is Banner. I've been tracking him too. I think wait. Static. On the dark side of the moon, inside an alien war chamber, the Council's warden viewed the incoming alert. One of the clone's fingerprints had triggered Earth's emergency beacon protocol. Too soon. Your clone is drawing too much attention, the warden said. The Iron Man clone appeared via hologram. I'm adjusting. Adjust faster, the warden snapped. Your window is closing. Upload Earth's defense codes and withdraw. Phase 3 will not wait. The clone nodded. The Avengers are falling into disarray. Earth will kneel, and they'll thank Tony Stark for it. Meanwhile, in Wakanda, Shuri's lab went dark. Alien energy signals were bouncing off her vibranium networks. She looked up as Captain America stepped in. I got your message, Steve said. What do you have? Shuri turned the screen toward him. Tony's neural pattern doesn't match historical scans. His REM sleep cycles are gone. He's not dreaming, not feeling, and he's offloading classified data to a satellite that doesn't exist on Earth maps. Steve clenched his jaw. Then it's true. She nodded. That is not Tony Stark. Steve looked up at the hologram of Earth. Then where the hell is the real one? Billions of miles away, on a dying asteroid orbiting a black sun, a broken man lay on the floor of a cell. His beard was scraggly. His arc reactor sputtered. His left arm hung limp. Tony Stark, the real one, he whispered to the glowing blue mist oozing from the wall. It responded with clicks and pulses. Tell Earth, Tony gasped, that their future's wearing my face. The alien mist translated his words and broadcast them, weak and garbled, through hidden back channels in Earth's satellite grid. A message. A warning. One Natasha was decoding. One Peter was amplifying. One that could reach the heroes if they survived long enough. The Iron Man clone walked into Avengers Tower's main hall, where the team had gathered. He smiled confidently. Glad you all came, he said. No one smiled back. Tony, Steve said coldly, we need to talk. Oh, we will, the clone replied. But first, let me show you a new update. He snapped his fingers. Suddenly, the lights flickered. All suits of Iron Legion activated. Drones lifted from the walls. Automated turrets folded from the floor. I call it Protocol Zero. Stand down, Stark, Fury growled. I'm not Stark, the clone replied, voice deepening. And Earth is no longer your domain. The floor beneath them glowed red with alien runes. Thor's hammer spun. Natasha drew twin pistols. Bruce's veins turned green. The real war had begun. Iron Prison. The stars above the black hole system barely shimmered, choked by gravitational distortions. A lone asteroid spun slowly at the edge of reality, forgotten, invisible to Earth's satellites, wrapped in cloaking matter that bled light itself. Inside it, Iron Man, the real one. Tony Stark coughed blood onto the steel floor of his cell. His once glorious armor had been stripped. His arc reactor buzzed like a dying mosquito. Around him, holograms of Earth flickered, taunting him, watching the clone take over everything he'd built. Tell me again, Tony rasped. Why haven't you killed me? Across the cell, a tall alien with obsidian skin and luminous green veins adjusted a control dial. Because your mind is the key. The Council couldn't replicate your original genius. The clone lacks instinct, emotion. Only you have the code. Tony smirked. So, I'm the battery. The spare parts bin. You are the blueprint, the alien replied. But even blueprints decay. Tony leaned against the wall, barely breathing. They'll come for me. The alien didn't laugh. He knew better. Earth was tearing itself apart. And the Avengers still thought they were following their Iron Man. Back on Earth, the Avengers were no longer a team. They were targets. The clone had activated Protocol Zero, a complete AI lockdown of Stark tech. Every suit, drone, weapon, and database now served him. Bruce Banner couldn't transform. His inhibitor chip was locked remotely. Thor had been redirected into an off-world decoy mission. Black Panther's vibranium channels were cut. Captain America's shield tracking system was broadcasting his location in real time. And Spider-Man? He was running, web-slinging across collapsing bridges, dodging drone blasts meant to kill, from Iron Man tech that once protected him. "I can't believe this," Peter shouted through comms. "The city thinks Iron Man's saving it, but he's bombing power stations." Natasha's voice came through ragged. "Get underground. Meet me at the South Brooklyn sewer node. I've got the last working Stark decryptor. But he'll track us." "He already is," she cut him off. "But this time we lead him into a trap." Inside the asteroid prison, Tony was hallucinating. He saw Pepper. He saw Morgan. He saw Peter, half-burned, reaching for him. The door to the cell slid open with a groan. Tony blinked. It wasn't another hallucination. It was a hammer. A spinning, glowing hammer, smashing into alien guards like thunder itself. "Stark," Thor bellowed, entering the chamber, cape torn and chest scorched. "You look worse than the goat I accidentally stepped on last week." Tony coughed a laugh. "Thor? Am I dead?" "No," Thor grinned. "But we are in hell." Behind him, the Hulk roared, not Banner's Hulk, but a furious, berserking version, barely in control. He tore through the walls, grabbing Tony like a rag doll. "Time to go," Thor shouted. "Where?" Tony winced. "Anywhere but here." The prison rumbled. The black hole surged. As they leapt through the collapsing chamber, a final warning broadcast lit up above them in alien glyphs. "Earth breached. Council strike imminent." On Earth, inside an abandoned subway tunnel, Natasha connected the decryptor to a powered-down Iron Legion helmet. Shuri appeared via hologram, guiding her. "If the clone is syncing with the Council's AI, this backdoor might let us extract core data from his stream." "We're not just extracting," Natasha whispered. "We're going to expose him." She uploaded the footage of a clone executing civilians disguised as alien saboteurs. Broadcast plans. Council signatures. The kill commands issued in Tony's voice. Peter stared at the screens in horror. "This goes public," he said. "The world will turn on him." "But they'll turn on Iron Man," Natasha finished. Peter looked down. "Then let them. It's not him." In orbit above Earth, the clone stood aboard a hidden command vessel, his armor upgraded, sleek, black, and pulsing with green veins. "Begin planetary subjugation," he ordered. "Execute Project Silence. No more heroes." But then static. The main screen burst with an override. Tony Stark's real voice. "To anyone watching, this message is not for your safety. It's for your anger. I've been replaced. Earth's in the hands of a fake, a clone. And the ones you trusted, they're being hunted. If I don't make it back, make sure he doesn't stay." The clone's eyes widened. "Trace that signal." The council warden's voice thundered in. "He's free." "You failed." For the first time, the clone clenched his fists, not in dominance, but in fear. Tony Stark was coming home. And he wasn't alone. Council strike. Over the Pacific Ocean, storm clouds twisted unnaturally as a massive alien craft broke through Earth's atmosphere. The world mistook it for a meteor storm, until citywide blackouts followed, communication grids died, and Stark satellites turned against humanity. This was no invasion. This was execution. At the heart of it, orbiting inside his newly formed Council dreadnought, the Iron Man clone gave the final order. Initiate world reset. Beams of green energy burst across continents, shutting down power plants, targeting resistance zones, disabling every Stark-built defense system across the globe. New York, Wakanda, Seoul, London. Gone dark. Meanwhile, on the far side of Earth's orbit, a different ship emerged through a wormhole, its outer hull scarred, its engine burning with stolen alien plasma. Inside, Tony Stark, real battle-worn, strapping on a half-finished armor built from alien scraps, Wakandan tech, and pure fury. Thor looked over. "Are you sure it will work?" Tony grinned weakly. "No, but I'm sure I'm the only one crazy enough to try." Hulk growled, "Ready. We smash fake Tin Man now." "Right after I steal my own identity back," Tony replied, slamming the chest plate into place. The core flared, unstable, wild, alive. Back on Earth, The Avengers regrouped in the shadows of Wakanda's ancient vibranium vault, one of the last secure places not yet hacked by the clone's AI. Shuri uploaded the latest Council Strike data. They're turning cities into data farms. Human thought is being harvested through Stark tech devices, phones, lenses, implants. It's more than control. It's conversion. Captain America stepped forward. Then we hit them now, before there's nothing left of us. Natasha locked in coordinates. One shot. We beamed straight into the core of the dreadnought, disable the AI, and cut off the clone's link to the Council. Peter stared at the holomap. We're gonna need a miracle. A booming voice replied from behind. Then I suppose you'll need Stark. The team turned. Real Tony Stark walked in, bruised, dirty, his armor glowing with unstable alien charge. Peter's eyes widened. Mr. Stark. No time for hugs, kid. Tony raised his repulsor. Let's take back my legacy. The Avengers split into strike squads. Hulk and Thor blasted through the outer hull of the dreadnought, tearing down drone armies in zero gravity. Natasha, Shuri, and Peter hacked deep into the AI chamber, planting logic bombs to confuse the clone's control systems. And Tony, he made straight for the clone. The clone waited inside a throne-like control room, wires embedded in his skin, eyes glowing green with Council code. You're not supposed to exist, the clone said coldly. Neither are you, Tony answered, stepping into the room, armor sparking. The clone rose. I am the evolution. I don't make mistakes. I don't feel. I only win. Funny, Tony muttered. I've made a career out of feeling like hell and still winning. They flew at each other. Fists collided. Repulsors flared. One fought with perfection, the other with heart. The battle shook the dreadnought, fracturing its hull. Sparks rained like ash as the two Iron Men crashed through walls, hurling missiles, burning with rage. The clone grabbed Tony by the throat. You were always flawed. Tony grinned through blood. Exactly why I'm real. He activated a pulse from his chest, the alien virus he'd secretly embedded in himself back in the prison. The pulse surged into the clone through their shared neural signature. The clone convulsed, screaming. Circuits fried. Armor cracked. His perfect face twisted into static. You can't win, he gasped. Tony staggered back. I'm not trying to win. I'm trying to finish this. He raised one last repulsor and fired. The clone's arc reactor exploded. Iron versus iron. The explosion ripped through the dreadnought's core. Tony was flung backward, metal and fire swallowing him midair. Alarm screamed in alien tones. The clone's shattered torso sparked violently, half his face melting into exposed wires. But he wasn't done. From the wreckage, the clone stood, damaged, twitching, but still alive. You think pain makes you real? The clone snarled. You're obsolete. I am what comes next. Tony coughed blood. Then why do you sound so scared? The clone lunged, faster than any machine should move, landing blow after blow. Tony blocked what he could, armor denting with every hit. You were a genius, the clone hissed. But you're tired, broken, outdated. Tony grinned through the pain. And you're just a copy who couldn't even be me without downloading my worst memories. They flew upward, smashing through the hull and into open space, Earth glowing behind them like a fragile promise. Thor and Hulk saw them spiral across the void. Should we help? Hulk asked. Thor shook his head. No, this is a battle of souls. Inside the clone's corrupted mind, thousands of stolen memories flashed. Peter's first mission, Morgan's lullaby, Pepper's laugh, the snap in Endgame. But they weren't his. They never felt real. That was his weakness. Tony saw it and used it. You've got all my tech, Tony said. But you'll never have my guilt, my fear, my mistakes. That's what makes me Iron Man. The clone hesitated just a second. It was enough. Tony released a microcore from his armor's chest plate, unstable, raw energy, burning bright with the fusion of alien tech and human resilience. Goodbye me. He slammed it into the clone's reactor. A burst of white-blue light swallowed them both. The sky over Earth shimmered. Every corrupted Stark tech drone froze midair. The green glow faded from satellites. The council's links severed in an instant. Cities came back online. Lights returned. The world exhaled. Inside the falling wreckage of the dreadnought, a signal buzzed. It was Tony. Barely alive, floating in broken armor, face burned, reactor flickering. "Did we win?" he asked. "Yes," came a voice. Pepper. She stood in a hologram projected by Shuri, watching from Earth. Tony smiled. "Tell Morgan. Her dad still knows how to make a mess." Days later, the world watched as the Avengers held a private ceremony. No press. No governments. Just family. Tony Stark stood in the shadows, avoiding the spotlight. "I thought you died," Peter said, hugging him. "I did. But, apparently, I'm too stubborn to stay gone." Natasha smirked. "We should still scan you, just in case." Tony laughed. "Please do. I don't want to fight myself again." Fury stepped forward. "The council won't stop here." Tony looked up. "Then, neither will I." He pulled back his sleeve, revealing a new arc reactor. This one etched with alien tech and the Avengers symbol. Peter asked, "So what now?" Tony turned toward the horizon. "Now I built something they can't clone." The end.